Hi there. Good morning. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. Welcome to 30 minutes of my day. Wow, I haven't pulled this card out in a month. I've been so busy working on this baby right here. Gosh, it was a lot of fun. It was just what my old heart needed for a Christmas where I can't be with family. I feel like I spent Christmas with all of my family who are gone, and in a nice way. You know what? It wasn't at all in a sad way. It was in a very heartwarming way, and it was nice to have a reason to do it. And all the lovely comments that I've been reading from you below down there. Thank you so much. And many of you have said, wow, I'm going to do that. And I absolutely encourage you to create your own Christmas past junk journal. It was nice for me to do in December because it really not only helped get me in the mood for Christmas during such a strange Christmas, but it inspired some memories in me as I hung my decorations, that sort of thing. So I did find that was the right month for me to do it. As far as little things, cooking or that, I would think, oh yeah, I remember when we used to do this. And I really, really recommend it. And as I said a few times, I really recommend doing this style, the no-sew journal, because I was able to pull the pages out. Oh, I'm tied up. I was able to pull them out and work on them nice and flat and then put them back in. I was able to have as many pages as I wanted to have. It's just everything about this. I'm just utterly delighted with it. I've thought of a few more little memories that I want to be able to tuck into it, and I think I will be adjusting it and maybe putting a pocket in the front and a pocket in the back, and I may just write down my thoughts on little notes and tucking them in the pocket here and there. I still love her. Isn't she awesome? And I love her glasses. They look like mine. So, yeah, here I've been keeping this in here. I might actually use it to make one of the pockets. I'll move this. I'll move that thing. But you know what? That might make a cute pocket. Maybe in that direction, be easier tuck spot. Yeah, maybe on the back. Then I can. Yeah, that works better on the back. And then I'll turn this up. Yep. Okay. Done. That's going to be a pocket. So yeah, I really, really encourage you to start thinking about, maybe get a list going in your own journals, whether you're a junk journaler or a bullet journaler or just keep an appointment book of reminders of what you want to write about in your books. And then maybe give it a go next December, one a day. You could even start writing the entry part of it now, so that all you have to do is enjoy the creating the page next December. I have so many ideas about it. But so yeah, and as I've said, with so many children, I'm not sure where this will end up. Perhaps it will be something that, when I'm long gone, whoever is hosting that year will hold on to the book and it can be perused through and maybe chuckled over, and hopefully maybe there'll be some volumes added to it by they themselves, because certainly my children have been married long enough, and my oldest grandchild is 17, so they certainly have an abundance of memories that they've made themselves and created themselves already in this short amount of time that seems to have gone by like that. So I sat here, I cleaned up, I packed up Christmas and put it back in the in my closet over there, and I didn't even get Holly done. So Holly will wait till next November, and she'll fulfill her destiny then, which is okay. And I still have, where are you? I still have a few that I started before I got caught up in all the December dailies. I started this one, so I'm going to have to get to work on this. The interior is all ready to go, and even it's just going to be such a pretty book. So I have to get started on that. But I was going through another book, and this painting kept coming back at me. I was going through this book. I guess I should be ready before I turn on my camera. I was going through this book, which is a marvelous book. Am I ever glad I found it. What did I pay for it? I bet I didn't even pay $1. And it's full, a child's book of art. So what the author did was they went subject by subject, the way you would a child's dictionary or a child's encyclopedia. You know, the family, pets, wild animals, weather, ways to travel, like topics. But then they have illustrated the topics using actual artwork. And one of the paintings that kept coming back to me, and so it's already been cut out. It's gone. Hold on. Is now my next project. As ever, Wenzel is getting put aside because I really feel like working on this next. I have so many things I want to talk about because I also have a few little thrifty things that I want to share. So, well, let's do this one now while we're at it. So I'm working on this right now. This is the painting. I love this painting. It's known as The Young Hare. It's by the artist Albrecht Dürer, and it was painted in 1502. And it's a stunningly beautiful painting. I've always admired it, and then finally I found it in a book that I could purchase for a reasonable price. So The Young Hare needs to go on. Plus, I've been craving making a Catherine Allsorts book. I almost have to, when I've had an intense work period on a certain subject, I almost feel I almost need to do a Catherine Allsorts book. I don't know what else to call it because there's really no rhyme or reason to any kind of theme on it. Just to blow out the cobwebs in my brain. So The Young Hare is going to go on the next cover, which is going to be this book. It's a really cool book of anatomy and physiology. And it's from a woman named A. Mary Wilson, York County Hospital, Newmarket. And it is, what year was it? It's over 100 years old. 1918. So by this time next week, it'll be 103 years old. Right now, it's 102 years old. So it's a good age, and I love that little beautiful curved spine, and I want to recreate that. So I've actually already got it going inside my my rolling pin doweling. So I'll be getting to work on that. Because I already tore out the spine, or the text block, pardon me, this was inside it. It's just a little sticker that says Physicians Supplies, Ingram and Bell Physicians Supplies. And it was right there. So I want to return it to where it belongs at some point after I decide what the end papers will be. But this got me to thinking, because there once was a time where you didn't necessarily go to college or university to become a nurse. You would actually apply to a hospital, and the hospital would take you on and teach you how to become a nurse. So it made me wonder, a textbook, why a textbook was owned by a woman, that she felt the need to put York County Hospital, Newmarket, the way you would write, Seneca College, or that. Who knows? But I have a sneaking suspicion that this is one of those cases where she was accepted by the hospital to become a nurse. And they eventually these nurses got grannied in. It's a very, very cool book, and it's got some very interesting illustrations. It's not for those who are queasy or faint of heart for things like this kind of illustration. There's a skull here with the teeth. Look away if this will upset you. It's a drawing, so it's not a photo, but it fascinates me when you can actually see the roots of teeth. And if you're someone who finds this sort of thing interesting, be sure and Google pediatric x-rays of when you can see the adult teeth in behind the baby teeth. So, and the temporary and permanent teeth. It's fascinating that children have the little buds up there inside their bones. I'm really off topic here, but these sort of things just totally, I love it. Anyhow, so I'm not necessarily going to be using an abundance of all these fabulous illustrations necessarily in this junk journal. I'm going to sneeze. Ah, jeepers. I'm going to pause. All right, well, talk about blowing the cobwebs out of your head. Now I forget it blew the thought right out of my head. Because this is going to be a Catherine All Sorts. So, it's going to be quite big. This is big. It's going to present a challenge for me, because normally it's nice to do a journal that is big enough that you can fold one 8.5 by 11 page in half to create your text block. And I'm not going to be able to do that with this one. I'm going to have to come up with some larger sheets. Not all, because as you know, I like a variety of sizes and interesting papers. But I am looking forward to this. It is completely different from a Christmas journal. I love this little fellow. And he's going to go there. And it needs a book plate. So it's going to go there. Yum. I really, really love that. Initially, I thought I was going to work on and put him on this book, which is a really cool book. I love the texture type embossing on it. In Everybody's Cyclopedia. But I'm going to have to rethink. I had plans for it, and then when I started taking it apart, you're going to see it's barely... Can you see the holes through there? That spine is pretty well gone. Look at the shoulders on that. I can see myself through it. Anyhow, now normally when I'm presented with a book like this, I've now I started making like a shabby chic kind of book where I put laces on it and I stitch them all on with my sewing machine, and it's really a cool book. It's just not what I envisioned doing with this book. So I've put it aside because I really want to do it justice. It's such a nice size. I love how thick it is. I love the size of it surface-wise. The hair would have looked very handsome on there, but it wasn't meant to be his destiny. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. I'll be thinking about everybody's cyclopedia and try and figure out what it is I'm going to do with that book. With this book, with Albrecht Dührer's painting here, I'm going to put a link down below for anyone who's curious and likes this sort of thing. In wanting to find out a little bit more about this particular painting, which was painted in 1502, it's not a very big painting in real life. It's a watercolor, and it's actually only about this big. So all those tiny details really are tiny details that he created with very thin brush strokes. It just utterly takes my breath away when I look at all the detail in that fur, the shades that the fur goes through, sort of rusty colored fur to dark brown fur to white highlighted fur. It just absolutely amazes me. Even the little window glimmer of light in the hare's eyes. Anyhow, I found in doing some research, wanting to know more about the painting and the artist, I found an artist who who's very talented and attempted to do her own version of the hare. And she walks you through how she goes about painting, recreating, what did she call it, a master painting? Which you're allowed to do as long as you're clear with people, you know, that you're not attempting to counterfeit a painting. It's quite common. I know I had to do it, attempt to do it when I was in the 2-year course at the Art Gallery of Ontario. They had us many times choose a master painting and try to recreate even just a little, choose a vignette from the painting and do our own attempt to recreate it. Well, this woman actually does that with paintings. She's that talented. And so the link will be below. It's just amazing how she approached it. It's not at all what I would have expected to recreate a painting like this. And boy, I think she did a marvelous job. And it really helped me learn how the original artist, Albrecht Dürer, how he actually did this painting. It only comes out for exhibition once every 10 years. Otherwise, it's being kept safely in art vaults. So imagine being able to get there for the 10-year, whenever it's going to be shown, and actually get to see it. Maybe someday I'll be able to do that. All right, I'm going to put that away. 30 minutes of our day. I do have some little thrifty things. I was able to get out a couple of times during the month of December and do a little bit of nosing around. Not a lot because of my back for most of the month, and it's doing better. It's not completely healed. I'm still aware that it's there, so it makes me nervous, but it's definitely doing better. But I was able to get a few things. I found this book at my favorite little store right here in town. Now, see, this is the kind of book where I love nowadays pulling out my sewing machine and putting some lace on it. I can absolutely see this. Look at that. The Peerless Reciter, or Popular Program. And it's a book full of poems to recite, or little plays that can be performed. You know, the sort of thing that prior to television and movies, you know, they would have an evening of recitations and performances, live performances and such. So it's just a charming, dramatic readings. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Look at the page here. Isn't that beautiful? Presented to, it's still blank. And there it says 18, ready to be filled in. So that tells you how old this is. It is, I forget now. 1894. And it was published in a smallerish town in Ontario, Paris, Ontario. Which amazed me that a book of this size was published not in Toronto or Montreal, but over in Paris, Ontario. So I'm looking forward. I love these end papers. I'm looking forward to doing something very pretty with this book. I think she's lovely. It's going to take quite a bit of cleaning up. I'm not sure how much of this grime I will be able to safely get off. I may have to seal the grime inside. I mean, there's, 140 years of grime there. So we'll see. Look at the end here. Like, that's all going to have to just be completely backed up with more fabric. But I'm looking forward to it. And then I popped up to, we have this place near us. We just call it the Barn. It's in a little town called Fowler's Corners, which really isn't a town. It's more of an intersection. And there's a big barn up there, and the bottom floor of the barn is antique booths, and the upper floor of the barn is crafty booths, and also there are some smallish companies that will rent larger areas. Like there's a furniture company, and there's sort of a gourmet food company, and it's a fun place to go. Anyhow, they've been selling a hand sanitizer that's been bottled by a local distiller there, and my husband really likes it. He's got a very sensitive nose, and this particular hand sanitizer from this distiller doesn't bother his nose. So we got some last spring when everyone was first running out of hand sanitizer, and he just finally was starting to run out of the bottles that we got. So we wanted to go back up there and get the hand sanitizer. And I actually found a couple of things. So I found this book, which I rather love. It's got a beveled edge. Wenzel's has that too, the other book, Wenzel's. The Mask Torn Off. So I love the cover. I think it would make a pretty Christmas journal. Or else also, I don't know, because of the beautiful green, I think of, a botany kind of journal. Now, I forget what year this is. I hope there's a year in it. I can't remember. But I found this, and it was a good price. I'm surprised. I guess because of the condition. They didn't ask much. 1883. Toronto. So that makes sense. Not 1882 for the first copyright. Wow. Anyhow, it's just I shouldn't say just, but it's a book. It's got some illustrations in it, so I'll make use of those. So this will be fun. It's again a nice size. I'm certainly enjoying making bigger journals. I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to approach fixing that. I don't know. We'll see. And then I got this cool thing. I've always had coffee mugs all over my desk holding pens and pencils and markers and that. And I found this. Let me see if I can turn it on my side without everything falling out. It's on this little stand with these little legs, and it's got this holder here. And when I put it upright, it spins. And it's cute. Look at this. How cute is this? I'm not even convinced that this is old. It was being sold down in the antiques marketplace. I think this is one of those things that's being created to look old, like you can get at Winners and Home Sense and that. But I don't care because the price was reasonable. And I actually like its functionality more than anything. This is exactly what I wanted, to just have buckets to put pens and pencils in. And I've been using this all month, and I am utterly, utterly in love with it. So it goes right there on my desk. I mean, I do have a few other caddies. You know, I've got a caddy over here. But sometimes all those tiny little sections in a caddy, it's just too many. Because, you know, I always like to have lots of pencils ready to go. I like to have lots of pens ready to go. And then my favorite markers, especially my gold ones lately. I can't get enough gold lately. So, yeah, I love it. I'm in love. I found this on one of my trips, and I can't remember whether I already showed this. I'm sort of lost track of what I've mentioned. It's December now seems like a mad blur for me wandering down memory lane. Anyhow, so forgive me if I have already at some point shown this, but I got it at my St. Vincent de Paul. That's one of their price tags. And I believe their craft supplies were on sale that day, because I don't think I would have paid $2.50 for this. But it looks like it's completely intact. It looks like it's never ever been used. There's vellum in it of old images. Look at this. I remember Wild Root. My brothers and dad used to use Wild Root. It was a hair grooming, sort of like a little dabble do ya Brill Cream. Wild Root was like Brill Cream. Oh, come on. I don't believe you. Let me see. 26. I got 4 minutes timer. Let me restart it, because I will talk through it again. There we go. Anyhow, I'm going to have to fussy cut. That's okay. Winter evenings are made for fussy cutting. Isn't this cute? Oh, Gutermann thread. Look at all these letters. Oh, I love it. So I'm very, very happy with this find. I will make a very good use of all of these. I think I'm tempted to leave this intact rather than pre-fussy cut them, simply because it's easier to look through it while they're already still on the page. I'm tempted to do that, I've got to say. Because, and I do know that I mentioned these because I thanked Juana for sending them to me. And thank you again, Juana. I got a few of these books from a lovely, lovely subscriber who offered to send them to me. And I cut one up because it had a lot of Christmas ones. This one doesn't have any Christmas in it. But I've got to tell you, these big books, it takes me, and I'm a pretty good fussy cutter, it takes me 30 minutes to do one page. So when you see how many pages these books have, that's like 2 weeks worth of fussy cutting per, to get through this book if you do, a couple of sheets an evening. Although these ones are a little bigger, and like an image like that fussy cuts very quickly. Whereas an image like this is much, because you've got to get in and around all those leaves and petals. Anyhow, so I thought I'd re-show this again so that you could just see how beautiful all these images are. They're just lovely, and I'm looking forward to using them in journals, especially in some all sorts journals. I love the randomness of Victorian images, like a horse. Hope sustain thee ever, like, and a horse or a cigar, like. Oh, golly. Isn't that funny? Presidents of the United States. Really? Anyhow, this is from, I think I saw it was 1983. So even this in of itself is not terribly new. 1983. So it certainly wouldn't be that price now. So I love it. I'm in love. I want to use that. And here's my wonderful thing, and I mentioned it, that I got for free on Virage sale. So if you've got Virage sale, keep your eyes peeled, because I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Sorry, I'm right beside my phone. You're probably gonna hear my voice really loud right now. Here's a few. I got a 29 volume encyclopedia set. And I love them. I love the color. I love these spines. I love the size. There's a little bit of embossing on the front, but it's not so gorgeous that I won't mind if I feel like putting an old master's painting on the front cover. Yeah, these are going to be wonderful. I think I am going to make these mostly naked. And yeah, you again. Oh my goodness. I think what I'll do is when I slowly will do these in bundles of 4 and create them into mostly naked journals. They've got some beautiful illustrations inside. Photos and such that will make for fun journaling cards. So it could well be that when I create these into naked journals and they go into my Etsy shop, that I will also include the whole text block, so that the new owner, Mona Lisa, that the text block will just go with them to the new owner, so that the new owner could have fun creating their own all sorts book. A do-it-yourself all sorts book, but the book's already ready to go to start being filled. There's an idea. Anyhow, that's it for today. I'm at 31 minutes. I'm going to get cut off by my very rude phone. So, take care. Thanks for visiting with me. That we had our 30 minutes once again after a month away. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're safe and healthy. And we will talk again soon. Take care. Bye.